Hi, Noobaa is a data platform for distributed hybrid cloud. This video will quickly show you how to migrate an application that produces a lot of data from AWS to Azure. In this scenario, we have a customer with an application that is currently running on AWS. This customer can use only AWS S3 API and assumes a single 1 petabyte repository. Just the egress cost would be $100,000. All these assumptions, practically, mean they can't move anywhere. In most of the cases, the dataset is not fully consumed. With Noobaa, the application will just refer to a new S3 target, without any code porting. With Noobaa, all the data stored on AWS will still be available for the application, while new writes will go to Azure. It simply obviates the expensive and time-consuming migration project. In high level, it would look like the following diagram. The application on the left reads data from Noobaa bucket, which actually reads the data from both AWS and Azure. When it's writing data, the data will be written only to Azure. In this demo, we will use CyberDuck as an example for an application that is reading and writing data with S3 API. This is AWS S3 bucket from CyberDuck point of view. As you can see, there are 8 files in this bucket. This is Azure blob container. It's currently empty. This is Noobaa bucket, connected to both Azure blob container and AWS S3 bucket. Currently, we see the same 8 files that appear on AWS S3 bucket. Now let's upload an image called CyberDuck JPEG to Noobaa's bucket. We expect that the new files will appear only in Azure, while the merged view will include all files from both locations. The upload would actually happen on Azure, and the new CyberDuck image will be stored in Azure blob container. Quick recap. We saw that there was no change in the application code. We used only a simple configuration for the target application. All the data kept in native format, making it available for cloud services. In this scenario, Noobaa is only an enabling gateway. That is the management console of Noobaa. I will show you how you can easily configure this single namespace for multiple storage repositories that you just saw. The first step is to connect the source buckets of AWS and the new target bucket of Azure to the Noobaa system. We will do it by clicking on the resource icon on the left. We will click on Create Namespace Resource button. In this window, we will simply select the provider, the actual AWS S3 bucket name from the list. We will repeat this step for Azure blob container. The second step would be creating a special Noobaa bucket called Namespace Bucket. Noobaa Namespace Bucket points to these resources. We will do it by clicking on the bucket's icon on the left. We will add new namespace bucket by clicking on the Create Namespace button and set a bucket name. At this step, we will simply check the relevant resources for this namespace bucket and the target for the write operations, which will be Azure blob container in our case. We are done. Now the application can use Noobaa and have the aggregated view with the default writes to Azure, as demonstrated before. Now, click on Connect Application button. Here we can see all the connection details required for the target application configuration. We can quickly open CyberDuck connections to AWS and replace it with Noobaa connection details. Simply copy the endpoint address, the access key, and the secret key. The application will start working with Noobaa in an instant. To summarize, Noobaa is a co-sell ready. Noobaa is available in both Azure and Azure Stack Marketplace. We will be happy to assist with any questions, idea, or feedback at info@noobaa.com. Thank you.